Hello, everybody. Technovoid back here with my good old friend.
Hamsterwings.
He's
Hello.
my good old friend. He's actually younger than me, but we're here with
Slightly, yeah.
the Season 1 wrap-up for Trouble Double Drafts.
The tiebreaker and then the wrap-up, yeah.
Yeah, question for you. Is this series called Trouble Double Draft or Trouble Double Drafts? I don't think... I keep using both.
I don't know, it's whatever you want.
Okay. Because I kind of go like the Trouble Double Draft, but then I say like the season of Trouble Double Drafts. Like I go both ways, so I don't know what the actual series is called.
It's whatever you want.
It's whatever you feel like, viewer. Okay, so to start off, we have one more match, a tiebreaker between Forgeist and Fantasy Costco. They both had 8.
I'm gonna switch my tag next season to Team Forgeist TDD.
Team Forgeist TDD. I dig it. Yeah. I dig it. So they both got 8 wins and 1 loss. Hamsterwings' loss was actually to Fantasy Costco, and Fantasy Costco's loss was to Lynx. So looking at this match, what are you thinking, my man? This is your match. You tell me.
See, it's hard because I know how the match goes.
Well, right, but what are, just from basic level?
So the basis of my whole team is that I know he's, in his mind, Incineroar is his Hoopa counter. And that was what I based my entire team around. I based my entire team around Hoopa being an Incineroar counter.
Okay.
So Hoopa has its magician ability, which is if it's not holding an item, it steals the item of its target.
If it makes contact, or just how?
It just takes it.
Okay.
So my Hoopa is going to come out, get intimidated, consume its adrenaline orb, get plus speed, and then it's a surprise special Hoopa. So it's going to focus blast Incineroar and just kill it. It'll just die.
Very good.
It's not going to live.
What about the rest of these team members?
So then basically everything else was built around that. Como is physical because the team is based around Hoopa killing Incineroar. Hoopa is basically there to kill Incineroar, and it's there to kill Venusaur through Protect.
Right, yeah. So how are you dealing? Because Steven's very good at using those stall tactics. So how are you sort of combating that?
I was not worried about it as soon as I saw his team because I saw Golduck, and I was like,
Rain.
I don't have weather. That Golduck's gonna be Swift Swim. He has a rain team.
Yeah, for sure. Which is surprising to see.
For me, I was like, okay, this isn't bad because I have Speed Control Registeel with Thunder Wave.
Okay.
So I can just make Golduck really slow and then kill it with Sceptile because he probably has Golduck to kill Sceptile with Swift Swim Ice Beam.
That was kind of a play on Fantasy Costco's part to build a team around a C tier for the first time this season in the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
But he sure goes for it. You also have a C tier. Your teams are actually like identical in tiers, if I'm looking correctly. I think he maybe has one more A tier than you do.
I have 2 C tiers. Where's his second?
Oh. Yeah, you have Blastoise. I keep forgetting Blastoise is a C tier because it's so fucking good.
He doesn't act like one.
No. Should he be B?
No, he shouldn't.
Alright, cool, fair enough. Shall we just get into the match then?
Sure. Go ahead.
Alright. So... yeah, so
so pause the match right here. My first mistake was saying GL in chat. I'm never doing that again.
Why?
Never in my life am I doing that again.
Oh, yeah, okay. Fair play, I guess. So you lead with a pretty obvious Sceptile Coco set here.
So I was worried about Golduck possibly being scarfed just to like quadruple bait me. So I protected on Sceptile first to scout to see if it was scarfed. It's not scarfed because my protect goes out first and I discharge.
His Duck 1 is probably going to Rain Dance at this point since he does have that Golduck out.
Yeah, and since it Rain Danced, I'm in a bad position now.
Yeah, because that's a fast boy.
Yep, so I'm going to switch him out into Registeel.
And he brings in
he's going to Ice Beam my Registeel because of course he would. And hey, bye Registeel.
You're frozen now. And so explain to me now. I know, but I feel like some people aren't super sure about this. Why at this point in time do you not switch out Registeel?
Alright, so if I switched out Registeel, he's never going to target my Registeel, ever. Right. There's no reason for him to. It would be Also, don't worry, there's nothing else to talk about for the rest of the match.
his Golduck does take out your Coco, and he does target your. Oh no, he probably targeted Coco there, but it just fucking myrtleized it.
Yeah, so there's no reason for him to take out Registeel, because if he does, that just gives me a free switch. Why not just leave it in, and it's a liability for me forever?
Right. So, but then you get a free switch then, because if he's not targeting it, you know you can send in anything and they won't target it, right?
Not necessarily, because basically Registeel. I need Registeel. I need it.
Right, to keep Duck down.
Yeah, even if the rain goes down, I cannot kill that Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So I need Registeel unfrozen. My only play is to stall until Registeel unfreezes. I can't do anything else. I need this Pokemon. This is the most important Pokemon on the team.
Bats, okay. Kind of like his Golduck.
Yeah. So it's basically just me calling switches, getting angry in the chat.
What turn is it? This is turn 9, and you go frozen on turn 2?
Yeah.
This is good.
20% chance to unfreeze every turn.
Yep, that's how it
here
goes.
I am, just stalling.
Okay, so he's
just hoping Registeel unfreezes so that I can just reverse sweep him.
Mm-hmm. The Toxic on his Duck is doing a decent amount of damage. That was a good play on your part.
Yeah, and then Blastoise gets poisoned, which basically means, oh my gosh, now I have nothing.
Yeah, your time is limited.
Everything's gone. I can't redirect anymore.
Yeah, your time is limited on this.
Blastoise is now death fodder, just like Registeel. So I switch in Como to stall further with my bulletproof. There's just nothing I can do, because now I know he'll probably just like switch in Incineroar or something to intimidate my Como, and then I can't do anything with Como anyway.
And comes
or he brings in Tapu Fini, which is also fine. I Rock Slide. He's probably going to kill Como here because he has Nature Power. Yep.
Yep, bye-bye.
I mean, I knew he had that, but I couldn't do anything else.
And you thawed!
Wow, Registeel's back.
And it didn't matter.
And on the same turn, Finny came in, so now I can't paralyze anyway.
So he brings in the Incineroar because he thinks it is the thing.
So, and then I reveal that this thing is built to kill Incineroar, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm going to protect to block the Fake Out from Incineroar and the Moonblast, but Incineroar just came out, so...
Now this,
Yikes.
I feel like, would have been really good if Finny was already dead at this point. Because at this point, if I recall correctly, you do a nasty plot, and then you just start sweeping, but unfortunately, as long as that Tapu Fini is out here, it is just going to be able to haze you.
Regardless, I did what I needed to do. There was nothing I could have done to make this any better. I steal his Figgy Berry, which, like, yay, I have that now.
Yeah. No, I feel like had Finny been dead there, I feel like you could have reverse swept, but with Finny's haze, this is not going your way.
Yeah, I just never really had an option to do anything, unfortunately.
Yeah, so you do some damage. Is Hyperspace Hole a Psychic type move?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So, we'll talk about this in a bit, but this match did not count any stats. So as we're going to get into, there is now a new document with a bunch of stats for every Pokemon, every player. Since this is a tiebreaker, I figured this was a match 90% or 80% of players were not going to have, so it would be unfair to count stats like wins, losses, kills, deaths, that kind of stuff.
Yep, basically. So
basically, what's going on here is it's not counted for anything except for the fact that Meteor Bower is probably going to be first place this season.
I mean, there's no way for me to win this.
Yeah, I mean, it is 4-2 right now. I will say, though, I mean, this is a bit of a spoiler because it hasn't happened yet, but Registeel does put in some work at the end here.
Well, I mean, that's why I brought it. He doesn't have anything for it. It defensively checks his whole team.
Yeah, I mean, it really just stays in and doesn't give a shit.
That's why I needed it to just be there, kind of never get targeted, and just kind of chip away at everything.
Sure.
But
yeah, because at the moment, that's all he's doing. But unfortunately, you were for 12 turns just freezed. Which is,
Yep.
what, you calculated out to that to be a 0.2% chance of that happening the way it did?
I think it was something like that.
Yeah, so... Does this really need to be on slow?
Well, I mean, it's not very much longer.
I mean, you do get another kill here, right, on Duck?
Yeah, I think so.
I think his Porygon 2 was trying to trace your soundproof so that he could block your Clangorous Soul Blaze. Did you even have Clangorous Soul Blaze on this set?
I did, yeah.
Okay. You just didn't get a chance to use it for obvious reasons.
I mean, it didn't matter. I didn't have soundproof.
Right. But I'm saying, like, if you had that, you didn't use it this match. Just because you didn't really have the opportunity.
Nope.
Well, obviously he's just gonna be healing himself up, because why wouldn't he?
Yeah, I just want differential, so I killed the Duck.
Yes,
I did have Registeel EV to outspeed Porygon.
That's
just
hilarious.
basically in case that exactly happened.
That's really funny.
Ideally, I would have had a partner.
Oh, cool, you're
And then he
paralyzed.
paras me.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
So that's the tiebreaker, and it looks like Fantasy Costco is in first place for this season. Hamsterwings is in second place, and Dusk is in third place. So we'll get into that, but there is one more match we want to show off, because you both agreed that was just a pretty bad match.
Yeah, we both agreed that was just a terrible match to tiebreaker on. People were, like, kind of excited to watch this match.
Oh, super excited.
And I was like, they're all going to be upset.
I tried to watch that from the Metro. It just didn't work.
Yeah, so Steven offered, he's like, hey, do you want to play, like, a friendly right now? And I was like, you know what? Sure, let's get that bad taste out of my mouth. Let's play a real battle.
But of course, this one goes much better.
But of course, this means that both of us have information on our opponent's team. Like, he knows my Hoopa kills his Incineroar. I know his Venusaur doesn't have a grass move.
Yeah.
And I know his Golduck one-shots my Coco.
Yep. So let's just, because we already know what's going on.
Same thing.
So yeah, this match doesn't count.
We were like gentlemaning to see if we wanted to do the same leads. I said it didn't matter. We both ended up doing the same leads anyway. So this would have been my first turn had I known his Golduck wasn't scarfed. I would have just immediately, I thought I Skydropped Porygon. Anyway.
We try and Focus Blast Porygon, but it does not go your way.
Yeah. I thought I Skydropped Porygon, huh? Okay. Either way. So now we're here. I'm like, Blastoise can get frozen, right? And he didn't get frozen, so that was cool. He has the Electric Berry, so he doesn't die.
The Wakan!
So I bring back out Sceptile, making what people thought was a hard call. This wasn't really a hard call. I just wanted the discharge boost, and I knew his Venusaur wouldn't do anything to me because it had Thunder.
Sure.
Because of nature. Because of nature power.
You did this last match too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like both matches, you did get the prediction.
People were like, "Oh my gosh, that was such a call out." I was like, "No, I was just making the smartest move."
Yeah.
I was surprised he went for Coco there.
Sure.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect him to spread his targeting like that. But that's fine.
So now he's probably going to go for the haze because he doesn't want you to have that boost.
Yeah, but
it's dead.
Nom. So no haze.
No haze for you. So at this point, you can I feel like hard carry with the Sceptile at this point.
No, I know that Zapdos has Supersonic Sky Strike.
Oh, for sure. That's
Sceptile definitely can't just one-shot it.
Would it kill you through Protect, you think?
It might. Sceptile's not very strong. But also, Zapdos doesn't get any good flying moves, so I don't know. So I'm just going to keep follow-meing now, because, that's what this Pokemon does. The Giga Drain does a lot for what Zapdos is, so it's Air Cutter. Yeah, it's smart of him to go for, like, regular Air Cutter and not Z, because it would have been redirected.
Oh, do Z moves get I thought Z moves don't give a shit about redirection.
No, Z moves do get redirected.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I must be misremembering that. I thought they did not. Anyways, you're taking advantage of the rain here as well with Scald.
Yep. I mean, not really. Blastoise is not very strong.
Well, fair point.
So I'm gonna switch right out because he probably wouldn't expect me to just remove my +2 Pokemon.
Sure.
But
yeah.
you know,
Get the Toxic.
Blastoise gonna get a Toxic off on Zapdos.
Which, I mean, Toxic I feel like is just good straight up against Steven's team because he does like to run.
I mean, it is, but he also does have Finny.
Yeah, but Svinny's gone.
So I'm gonna set up my Nasty Plot. He's probably gonna put his screen back up. He's gonna take out Zapdos with
But
Thunder.
he, for some reason, forgets that your Hoopa is a counter to his Incineroar, because I believe he brings it in here now, doesn't he?
I don't know. I don't remember.
seem
But I know he doesn't have any Finny, so I'm just gonna Clanger Soul Blaze right now.
Yeah. Get the Magician. And that is a dead duck.
One of them.
Yeah. Holy crap, Duck 1 is tank.
Well, he's behind a light screen.
I know, but still.
So now I got that Hyperspace Hole going. My Hoopa hasn't had the attack boost yet, but it doesn't, or the speed boost, so he doesn't outspeed Zapdos, but it doesn't matter because Como just kills it.
Sure. Yeah, and
Pokemon's
I mean,
a monster.
yeah, here
So
it
then
comes
Incin comes out, which gives me my speed boost.
in, which is frankly all you need to sort of finish this one out, I feel like.
Yep, I'm just gonna protect against the fake out, but he fakes out Como instead. Which, okay, sure.
Whatever.
Como's not gonna take any damage from it.
Try attack.
So now I'm gonna Drain Punch him. It's gonna do a decent amount of damage, get some health back. He's gonna eat his Figgy Berry, and my Hoopa's just gonna kind of go behind that light screen and just kill that thing.
Ooh, that's a big kill. Well, anyways, Hoopa's dead now, but at this point, it's 3-1.
I mean, it did its job. Drain Punch doesn't miss. Focus Blast does. This was the better option.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, well, that is the match, and so, of course, this one didn't matter, but it was good to see you guys really just... I mean, because the first match you guys were very neck and neck, but of course, you know, Fantasy Costco did have the advantage of, like, the turn 1 lucky crit. And then your tiebreaker, he did have the advantage of you being frozen for 10 turns. This is, like...
Like, I don't want to say Steven's like a worse player.
No,
he's not. He's incredible.
No, of course. No, that people keep saying that's what I'm saying, but that's not what I'm saying at all.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying that, like, it just so happened that both of the matches you guys had against each other, he did have an upper hand with RNG. This match was the first match, like, even though you did both know each other's teams ahead of time, you really did just play against each other, like, very well. And so this is a good match. I feel like people could learn a lot from this one. I feel like
I was glad we did this one because I had a pretty disgusting taste in my mouth after the first match.
Don't blame you. Yeah, hopefully.
But no, like we finished this match and I was like, I'm totally over it.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the actual.
So yeah, that's the official standings.
So the official standings. So first place is obviously Meteor Bower. Second place is obviously Hamsterwings. Third place is Dusk. After that, we actually have a tie between Peanut and myself.
Anything that's a tie below third though went to differential.
Yeah, so this was just differential of kills to deaths. So Peanut did have one more kill than me, even though I did have a better differential than him, so he did get 4th place, which sort of peeved me a little bit because there was exactly, when I was tallying up kills, there was one kill I should have gotten in week 6 against Nachi, against the Ditto, that he ended up struggling himself to death from 2% when I should have killed him.
Wait, that's how you did it? You did it by kills, not just by differential?
Yes, I mean, as you can see here, I mean, I have a better kill differential than Peanut does.
Oh, man, I thought you should have won, but okay.
No, I did it kills, deaths, and then if kills and deaths were equal, well, then they would not be differential. Well, that's how I chose to do it. We can for season 2 do it by differential if you think that would be better.
I think it should be differential.
Okay, well, I'm not going to change it for this season. Peanut, you got your 4th place. I'm not going to change it now.
Okay.
But for next season, we will do it by differential rather than kills. So we both, I mean, we talked about this last episode. We both had basically like the worst teams in the draft, and we ended up beating more than half the people. So I'm pretty proud of how that went.
Yeah.
Vlinks actually had, as you can see here, the only people with positive differentials were in the top 3, and everyone else had a negative differential. I actually think it's super interesting that Vlinks had the smallest negative differential, though. Even though he was in 6th place and he didn't get 5 wins, he actually, all of his matches must have been insanely close for that to work out the way it worked out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with the team he had, and especially how rough a start he had, Flinks played very well.
Yeah.
Moving on to 7th, we got Stormy, who is actually the next in line in terms of differentials. She went 3-6, beats out PLKJ, who also went 3-6. But
just barely. Just barely.
Just barely what?
It's a -2 difference between them.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the scores, Stormy actually has a ton more kills.
Yeah.
Like, she has a solid, 11 more kills. She just also has a lot more deaths.
Yeah.
And then we have that guy in 9th place. He technically did get last place since Nachi did quit after week 6. But I mean, what do you really expect from a person playing Pokemon for the first time? And for how well he played, I'm surprised his score wasn't lower.
Those rest timers, man. That was like 3rd battle.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see that guy's improvement next season. And we have a bunch of new players joining next season. We have Unibrow Jesus, we have Diggory, who seems like they haven't played much, Chimichangle, who seems like they haven't played much, Picky Mike, who may have some Pokemon knowledge, but I doubt too much doubles knowledge. That would just be my guess. People just generally don't know doubles. Doubles is just not very common.
Yeah, that's why we picked it. Yeah, because nobody in the server knew how to do doubles.
I felt like it was more of a level playing field, and there's also... Yeah, so those are the new... So I'm really excited to see how all those players sort of match up, especially since so many of them are new to this.
Yeah, Season 2 is going to be bigger, and we changed a lot of the rules.
Yeah, so we'll get into that, obviously, for the overview for Season 2, which I believe the video for that is going to be going out in 2 weeks, probably? Or actually, that depends on when the draft finishes. So
we're probably going to start the draft on, like, what, Friday? Did you change it to Friday?
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this on Friday at 5 p.m., and that's when I'll send out the ping to Stormy to make her first pick. So gotcha. Friday at 5 p.m. will be when the draft officially starts. So hopefully we get it done in a week, 2 weeks max, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we do have 2 separate drafts.
Yeah, I feel like the second one will go faster.
Yeah, hopefully.
So that's everyone's scores. As for the MVP chart, so what this specifically is, this isn't actually the Pokemon that got the most kills. This is the Pokemon that got the most kills per team. So
yeah, it was everybody's highest killer.
Everyone's number 1, basically. So
not in terms of KD, in terms of number of kills.
In terms of number of kills, right. Leading the charge, Mega Venusaur, as expected. I mean,
with 12 kills.
Steven brought it to every single match. Steven got the most wins. I mean, he tied with you technically. But
it's just the most annoying Pokemon.
It really is. I'm actually surprised it was his MVP though, because it was a staller. So
every Pokemon he had was a staller.
Yeah, so I mean, it just surprises me to see that number so high. But that's what it is. Its KD is actually not as high as yours. You actually have the highest KD here with Komao. Just because it
11
died.
kills and 2 deaths.
It only died twice, and it only came to 6 matches.
Versus... Yeah, Komao didn't come to that many.
Yeah, Komao came to most of them. I mean, it missed 3 basically, whereas Steven's missed 1. And Steven only played 8 matches because the 9th one was the automatic win against Nachi, and you also only played 8 because you.
No, I had that too. I had that too.
You also had the automatic win against Nachi, so you guys actually only played 8 matches, even though you have 9 total games.
Mm-hmm.
Then we actually have Conkeldurr, which I'm actually super surprised about here in 3rd place. I was not I expected like Mega Swampert to be next, honestly, but Conkeldurr put in some fucking work as a killer.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to guess about what Natesha's highest killer would have been, I would have guessed like Cresselia or Heatran or Scrafty or something, not Conkeldurr. But I mean, I underestimated it. This is the season of B tiers.
Yeah, and then 4th and 5th are 5th and 6th. I can't read.
4th and 5th.
4th and 5th are apparently at like a dead tie.
Yeah, the only reason. Yeah, we actually are at an exact dead tie. We got the same amount of kills, the exact same amount of deaths, meaning our KD is the same. The only reason I gave Dusk the upper hand here is because he had more games won. He won 7 games with Mega Swampert, whereas I only won 2 games with Regigigas. In fairness, I brought Regigigas to fewer games, but still, even so, my win-loss ratio with Regigigas was lower. Because it was 5-2 versus 9-7. So I did give it to Dusk here, Mega Swampert, and then Regigigas, who if nothing else, I'm happy this season I was able to make him my MVP, and I was able to get him top 6 basically. He's the only C tier in the top 20 of all Pokemon, so I'm ecstatic about that. I feel like I showed people what Regigigas can do. Then we have Ferrothorn as Lynx's MVP, which...
Yikes.
Holy crap. That's kind of nuts. I think maybe Mega Tyranitar has the same amount of kills, but it has more deaths, I think is what maybe happened there.
Probably.
They were very close. They were both very close in the draft. But seeing Ferrothorn as an MVP is kind of nuts. Then in 7th we have Megamane Ectric, who's actually 7th place. Actually, wait, hold on. If you just flip Peanut and Dusk, like, the first top 7 are actually identical in terms of wins.
Placement.
In terms of placement, yeah. So Megamane Ectric obviously was going to be Megan's MVP. She brought it to every match. It was what she based her team around.
It was her lead every match.
It was her lead every match, right. Then that guy comes in 8th with Celebi, even though he was actually in 9th place. He actually brings it up to 8th with Celebi just because of that crazy win against PLKJ where he just giga drains the fuck. He sucked that duck. Celebi was his carry. And then actually, ironically, Staraptor from Nachi actually beats out Muck from PLKJ by a single death, mainly because Staraptor played fewer matches.
Yeah.
So PLKJ did have the weakest MVP here. I feel like he had the weakest overall team, but what's interesting
his
about...
team was kind of like the most well-rounded.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Like the kills were most evenly spread.
Yeah,
his
his ranking of all his Pokemon were like the most like standardized, whereas everyone else had like generally 1 or 2 really strong Pokemon and then a bunch of supports essentially.
Yeah.
Last thing I feel like we need to talk about here is the community awards. So we did a little thing where basically people were going to vote on these various community awards. Didn't get as much interaction as I was hoping for, honestly, but it's fine. Basically, this was for people to sort of just give a shout out to the Pokemon and the players that they enjoyed watching the most this season. This has nothing to do with kills or deaths or wins or whatever.
It's just a fun little community.
It's just a fun little community thing that I was hoping people would sort of get into. The awards we have here are the Carry, which was basically supposed to be, I mean, it's pretty much self-explanatory. The Pokemon that even if it didn't get the most kills or whatever, basically won the most matches, got the team wins, even if they weren't necessarily the one getting the kills. The Executioner is a lot more obvious. It's literally just who's the scariest mon? Who are you looking at their team and you're like, ah shit, this thing is gonna fucking KO me. This does obviously have something to do with total kills, but it wasn't necessarily equivalent to that. The Bastion is just who was tanky and annoying played stall. The team player was a sort of supportive thing that I wanted to get in here, because unfortunately there's not a lot of great ways to sort of...
There's no like statistical way to track how good a support Pokemon did.
Right, and a lot of the support Pokemon did end up doing very poorly stat-wise just because they had more deaths than kills, because that's what they're there for. So the team player was sort of there to say good job to those Pokemon, because there were a lot of them. The secret weapon was sort of a pocket pick thing with a Pokemon that didn't necessarily come to matches very often, but when it did, it put in some serious work, and it was something that you needed to look out for in Team Preview. The Flop is a Pokemon that was either drafted very early or was a very high tier that had big shoes to fill and just frankly didn't. And so those are the Pokemon awards. As for the player awards, we have the Badass, which was essentially meant to be the player who did the funniest things, the coolest plays, just sort of the entertainer of the season, basically. Cool guys don't look at explosions, that kind of thing. The Strategist is just who had the best draft, who during draft pick basically blew everyone out of the water. And Team of the Season was just an overall all-around, you know, either who played the best, who improved the most, who was the funniest to watch. It's basically who do you want to get a shout out. Some people were sort of on the fence about voting for some of these because they felt like they would be doing other players a disservice by not voting for everybody, but I feel like that goes against the spirit of what this was about. This wasn't about putting one person
I don't
over.
think anyone would have been offended if nobody voted for him.
Like, I don't think this was putting one person above everyone else as much as just like, hey, you didn't get top 3, But nice job regardless. Like, I feel like that's what this was about. So let's just talk a little bit about all of them. I guess I'll sort of take over this part mainly because I was the one who was keeping track of the votes and everything. For carry, Mega Sceptile, I mean, 10-0. You can't... This... Mega Sceptile completely blew everyone else out of the
Pokemon that never died.
The Pokemon that absolutely never died. I'm actually going to check who they were against. So they were against basically like Staraptor, Mega Manectric, Scrafty, Thundurus, Therian, Mega Tyranitar, Celebi, Metagross, Zeraora, and Mew. It was basically like, you know, mainly MVPs with a couple exceptions. I mean, Mega Sceptile, there was no competition there. Executioner was basically the also MVP's Pokemon that got the most kills. I added a little bit more variety here because some of the carries weren't necessarily there. Como surprisingly won this by a landslide. I was not expecting that as much. I was expecting to see some more from like Conkeldurr or Mega Swampert or Aegislash. I was honestly hoping Regigigas was going to win this one, but no. For the Bastion, Ferrothorn...
People were scared of Como.
People were scared of Como. I mean, Clangorous Soulblaze is something that pretty much everyone who fought against you had to prepare for.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to grab Como next season.
Someone's got to grab Como, right? Next up, Ferrothorn is the Bastion. There was, again, no competition here. People just voted for the Bastion as Ferrothorn, and who can blame them? I mean, Week 7 just cemented Ferrothorn's place in this draft. Team player was surprisingly Blastoise. Again, you've so far won Mega Sceptile, Como, and Blastoise, and Vlinx has won Ferrothorn. Blastoise, this was actually a really tight draft. This was against you had some difficulty surprisingly beating out Whimsicott, which was another one of your Pokemon. Mega Audino also did pretty well here, and Delmise, Pelipper, Mega Audino, and Whimsicott I feel like were your main Pokemon that you were fighting
all makes sense.
Yeah, all very supportive Pokemon. Blastoise ended up winning it out by a single vote in like the last 24 hours.
Really?
Secret Weapon from Ludicolo, actually another very close one. This was between the scores were basically 50% were people were voting for your Ariados and 50% of people were voting for Ludicolo. It was really tight.
Why Ariados?
People were, I don't know, man. I don't know why Ariados, but Ariados and Ludicolo were both sitting at 4 votes for like 5 days, and then on Sunday someone voted for Ludicolo, and I was like, oh, time to grab this because I don't want to do a tiebreaker. So Ludicolo, I feel like well deserved there from Dusk. The flop, Mega Slowbro. Other flops, the second place flop was Oranguru, which also very deserved, but Mega Slowbro, with how important and vital it was to Peanut's team, and how much it died constantly.
Your psychic types weren't good.
Well deserved. The badass here, this was again a 50-50 shot between you and me. We were the two people who were getting all the votes for the badass here. You again won out just by one. Someone who voted on like the last day really like had it in for you, because I looked at the votes and for all 3 of these last categories they voted for you. For all 3 of these categories they voted for you. I was like, huh, okay. So you barely beat me out on the badass, which I feel like I should have gotten it, honestly, but again, if there was anyone to lose it to, it was you, because you did make an effort to change it up every single match. So if there was someone
That's what I was going for.
Yeah, so if there was someone to lose the badass to, I'm happy it's you. The strategist was Fantasy Costco. That was not really much of a competition at all. He pretty much won that in a landslide, and who can blame him? I mean, after his Incineroar Tapu Fini pick, it was just all downhill for everyone else.
Yeah.
And then team of the season, again, you won. This was between you and that guy for the most part. I was sort of hoping that guy won because his just absolute improvement over the weeks was absolutely insane. But I mean, for you, with how well you played, you getting second, I feel like you did deserve the shout out there, because I would argue you probably did play the best this season. You and Steven were very closely matched, but I think overall you probably played slightly better. But
not sure. Maybe
it was very even. It was close. It was close, but just from watching that very last match that we watched, I feel like you probably did have the upper hand just on a complete level playing field, but I could be wrong about that. Again, I'm not trying to lower Meteor Bauer's achievement at all. I'm just saying I think you deserve Team of the Season just as much as anyone, more so than anyone else to a degree. So that's all that. Holy shit, we are talking forever. Where are we? Okay, so Pokemon stats. What should we say here? Tell me what you want to talk about on this list. So you actually got 2 in the top 5 because Mega Sceptile was also up there.
Yeah.
I was only the only C tier with Regigigas in the top 20. I was also the only Pokemon that came for 5 matches or less in the top 20, so I'm very proud of that. As we go down, it's pretty even. I mean, I'm not going to go over this in too much detail. You're always free to come look at the document. It's in the Discord. I do want to give a shout out to some of these bottom Pokemon, these bottom 10. We got Zoroark in 90th place, Stoutland in 91st, Alolan Marowak in 92nd, Xatu in 93rd. Xatu got some fucking votes for Pocket Pick, and I don't understand why, because it did one thing in the first match before dying, and then it didn't come out in my second match. So I'm not sure why people voted for this thing.
Espeon is down here. It's an A tier.
Yeah. Tauros, Espeon was nominated for the flop. Jirachi's another Pokemon that got very close to winning the flop, but it got beat out by Oranguru and Mega Slowbro. Tauros, which was basically just used as death fodder most of the time. Blissey, which I could have used better. I just didn't use Blissey enough. Octillery, who frankly deserves to be down here after the absolute fucking madness of missing entrainment as much as he did. He fucking deserves it. Whimsicott being down here, you need to tell me what the hell happened here. I know he's a support, but this is bad. This is 97.
I mean, I never ran attacking moves on him.
Yeah, I guess. Then Noivern, and then Espeon, and then Clefable. Clefable got last place. I mean, it didn't do much, but it was also just a redirection tank. Oh boy. Yeah. And the final thing I feel like we should talk about is, I don't know if there's much to say here. I mean, we've basically covered everything. We could probably stop the episode, but I don't know. Here's the scores. Take a good look. You got anything else to say?
Not really, no.
I should edit this. I'm gonna edit this to say 3-0 and 0-3. And just and so everybody's MVPs, you got Staraptor and Ditto for Nachi, Mega Man Ectric and Crobat, and Lucario, who did surprisingly well for Stormy. Peanut has Conkeldurr, Scrafty, and Cresselia, which is pretty much expected. Dusk with Mega Swampert and Aegislash and Thundurus. Flinks with Ferrothorn and Tyranitar, who did get the same amount of kills, but Tyranitar did die 2 more times. Celesteela, who's almost caught up to them, and then Palosand, who also did very well for Pocket Pick, I think, or the secret weapon, because Palosand put in some damn work. Obviously Celebi and Snorlax. Typhlosion ended up getting 3rd for that guy. Mega Venusaur, Metagross, Incineroar, as expected. That's Como, Sceptile, Volcarona. Your Hitmontop has 5 kills and they're all from 1 match.
Let's go. Let's go Hitmontop.
PLKJ with Muck and Mimikyu, and Kriganol to a certain extent. Kriganol actually I was not impressed by. And then finally for me, Regigigas and Mew as expected, and then Sigilyph in 3rd, which mainly because of that final week, and then Tangrowth up there because I love Tangrowth. I want to take him again next season, but I probably won't. I hope someone takes him because he deserves it. And that's everything. So, oh fuck. Any final words before we send off season 1 with a whimper because this video is going on too long?
Not really. It was a lot of fun.
It was, and I'm
glad we're starting season 2.
Yeah, I mean, this has been super hype. This went way better than expected.
Yeah, I thought people were not gonna save their replays, not gonna send anything,
even just that. I mean, we first had the idea of doing a draft league, like basically when I first made the server, like when we just had that Pokemon like tab, and it was like, oh, we should consider doing a draft league since we have this or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, hey, we should do a draft league, and you're like, what's a draft league? And I explained it to you, and you were like, wait, that's sick.
Yeah. And we didn't do it for like a year or whatever, and then I don't really know what brought it on. I don't know what sort of made us go like, hey, we're doing this.
I think we brought it up in chat, and Nitesh was like, wait, this sounds so cool.
Yeah, and that it just...
And we were like, huh, people are actually interested. Let's do it.
Yeah, and so it just kind of carried from there, and it carried steam. And I mean, hell, next season, I mean, we had 14 slots open maximum, because I didn't want to support more than 14 people. We may increase that number in the future, but like that's probably going to be a hard limit for most parts, just because 7 matches a week is already like a ton.
Yeah.
And the spots filled up super quickly. Like pretty much everyone except for Nachi, literally everyone except for Nachi came back for round 2, and we got 5 new players who just jumped in, some of which who'd never been in the server before. Diggory and Chimichangle are just weren't even members of the server until, you know, they found the matches. Through Peanut and Bauer. So hell, we're excited to bring you guys the season 2 overview in a few weeks here, and this time we'll actually have all the episodes out on time instead of like 4 weeks late for the first 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys can use that to your advantage, but hell, you have all these matches from season 1 to look over. So we will see you guys then. I've been Technovoid.
I'm the other one.
And we will see you guys in a few weeks, probably. Bye-bye. This has been great. I've loved this, and I hope this becomes a regular thing on the channel.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Bye-bye.
See ya.